Good evening, everybody. Welcome to F3. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to say, really. I think I might just not talk for the rest of the evening. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome for another Friday evening of chaos with myself. And yeah, it's one of those. We're back in action. Hello, Bashi. How are you, sir? I'm a bit tired, hence the low energy so far, but I'm sure it'll pick up later on. As Alex Theodore is already retired, I think he's got a qualifying ban, knowing Alex. It would not surprise me at this point. Camille has joined and Camille has left. That's not prudent either. Let's try and get Camille back into the session as we are heading around the Ardennes Forest in Spa. Where is Camille? Where is Camel? I don't see the camel. There is no camel. Maybe he's back in. I don't know. Let me see what's happening here. Let me try and find Mr. Camel. I'll tag him on Discord. As apparently, according to my spies, there is rain in the race. According to the powers that be. Interesting. Spa, very famous track. We all know it. At this point, we could probably you could probably just drive it blindfolded at this point. You could probably draw the track. Everyone knows it that well. Some infamous corners, some infamous straights, some infamous everything. Anyway, as we see Callum Ogden slowing down before the bus stop chicane as he prepares to start his lap, as it looks to be a fully dry qualifying. As Callum heads down turn one into the braking zone, some very infamous crashes here over the years, and up the hill he goes. Oh, it's a bit overcast there already. Through a Rouge, through a Radion, down the whole way now, a long way down the Kemmel Straight. Long straight here. Good overtaking spot. Now into Les Combs. And yeah. And this is Bruxelles. This is going right here. And through the no-name corner, consider nearly every corner track in this corner, every corner in this track has a name at this point. Now going through Puhan. And into this little windy section here, also known as the campus section. I didn't know that, to be honest. This book is very interesting. And now we go to Curva Paul Frere. I'm assuming he's someone important in relation to this track. Maybe the person who designed it. And this long back straight here. Going through Blanchimont. And then yet again back to the bus stop chicane. He's not used all his battery though. He's got loads of battery left. As Matthew Heaney is the first driver to set a time at a 1:43. Has he invalidated there? What was that? By Mr. Ogden. Anyway, we've got a Mercedes crossing. Someone's got a purple sector 1. And that's Darrell Lann. He's going to set a 1:44. Next across the line after him is going to be Karasak. Who is Karasak? I think that's Andrei Freshchenko. Yeast in P3, David in P4 in his debut in F3. Ronaldinho going fastest. Now, what can his title rival, Mr. Callum Morris, do? These two have been battling all season long, and Callum's going through Puhan at the moment. All guns blazing for him. As we have got 19 drivers on the grid. All we're waiting for is that other Haas terrorist, I think. Oh no, he's in. Brzezinski's in. Interesting. As apparently Roswell is trying to get in to the stream. Mason Piper's the last driver we're waiting for. And hopefully he can get in. And then we'll have a full grid. So, first few times here, Callum goes P2. Nearly over 3/10 off Camille. P1. Interesting. Opening skirmishes here in Belgium for round 9. And I'm just trying to find someone on the lap here. As Mark Anderson, now the crowd favourite for F5, is about to cross the line here, and he's going to be in the 43s, and he goes P4 provisionally. Well, 143.3, so almost over a second off the pace here. Top 3 in a world of their own at the moment. John Ahern in P3. He's looking to crash the Callum party that has dominated for most of this season. To be honest, these two, they've been fighting all season long. Nice one. You've got a few people fighting, and Brzezinski's not going to set a time. I think again, Max, get out there. I'm going to tag you. We're just under 10 minutes to go in qualifying here. It's been a busy week for myself, but it's a bank holiday weekend now. I normally get Lex in the comments at this point. Good evening, Zeman. Oh, there is Lex. Speaking of there, just check the comments. It's been a busy week, Lex, before you ask. I love this guy. He just tagged me on Discord side comments. Yes, I know. Yes, it was very busy, a bit stressful. Lots of teeth, lots of patience, lots of admin as well. So, yeah, usual shenanigans in my life. Hope your life is good, Lex. I hope you're busy during the week. It is what it is. Anyway, so anyone on a lap at the moment, as Matej, who had a decent enough showing in Jeddah last week, was comfortably riding along with the top 4, top 5. He's going to look to build on that momentum here this week in Spa. Now, the only thing is, this is a very DRS heavy track, so there will be a lot of overtakes up the Camel Stripe. Charlie Roberts, I think. There's a lot of Charlies nowadays in Ero. Have I not enjoyed the weather? Yes, I loved the weather. We are watching sprint qualifying after this, or at least I'll try to, Zeman. Yes, but yesterday I was trying to take out people's teeth in like 27-degree heat with no air conditioning. So less than ideal is what you'd say to that, Lex. Less than ideal. What is it like in the Netherlands? Is it warm there where you are? I can imagine it is, because it was roasting here. And then next week it's meant to be like 10 degrees. Anyway, Axel Foley not out of the pits yet. Brzezinski not out of the pits yet. This new guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's Kean Wright. not out of the pits either, as Fat Ronaldo is out on the track on the mediums for some reason. That's an interesting strategy. Just 7 3/4 of a minute to go. And Ronaldinho is on lap number 2. Interesting here, because is he going to have enough time to come back into the pits and go again? Is he going to burn all 3 sets of softs? Interesting. The battle for F3 is really heating up, though. These two, I think, separated by about less than 10 points. Yesterday was warm 25. Bit cloudy today. So the weather is the same in the Netherlands as it is in Manchester. Very good. These two have been battling all season long, and I think it's going to come down to the last race, which is always great to see. It's always good for the neutrals. Both are very good lads, Callum and Camille. Very well-mannered young individuals. When Ronaldinho first came into Ero, he wanted to race in every single T. Am I red or blue? I'm traditionally a Ferrari fan, so I'm always red. Apart from when it comes to football. I'm a Chelsea fan, so then I'm blue. But this ain't about me, Lex, as we see. Bits of debris on the track there. Anyway, Ronaldinho into the bus stop chicane. Oh, I'm neither. I am definitely neither. I'm a Chelsea fan through and through. I have no interest in United, and City are a bunch of fuckers. Ronaldinho going even faster into the 122 zeros now. And Callum Morris getting a bit of a tow there from his teammate. What's going on here? Mason Piper has finally joined the party. Lex, you probably support Ajax, like the majority of Dutch people, or Eindhoven, or whatever that last team is called. Feyenoord, is it, or something? I don't know. Mason Piper's joined. We're going to have a full grid this evening, which is great to see. As F4 is about to get underway as well, and Roswell is on comms for that. Not to be missed either. Yeah, Feyenoord. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I actually like the Man United of the Netherlands, aren't they? Thank you, Callum Ogden, for saying there's some bump in Puhan that causes invalidations. Anyway, Mr. Morris, there you go, charging down to the bus stop chicane. And where does he end up now? This is a bit of a wobbly exit there. Very wobbly exit, and that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him. He does improve but not nearly enough. Anyway, as we keep on moving on here, under 5 minutes to go in qualifying, 4.5. And John Ahern is improving on his time as well, though he'll be challenging for P2 at the moment. This looks like a Ronaldinho only party as things stand. David Ann also going to be looking to improve on his current time. As he is now down the Camel Straight. Fat Ronaldo setting at 145. That's going to keep him at the back of the grid. As we are riding on with David, one of the sandbag bros of F5 himself, and Mark Anderson, who goes under the guise, this guy, Neo. The sandbag bros. I have no words for these two. They sandbagged hard. And speaking of David, he's gone off the track there of No Name Corner. And that's going to probably cost him his lap. As it's becoming a bit more overcast in the Ardennes Forest, as Mason Piper has left the session as they look for some solace. Callum Morris into the pits. He's going to quickly change his tyres and come back out as he wants to challenge Camille for P1. Brzezinski, get out on the track, you bum boy. Kean Wright going to be starting. I think he's going to be coming into the pits to change his tires. I don't think he's got enough time though. No, he's going to be starting his. I don't know what he's starting. A cool down lap, or a recharge lap, something like that. As somebody else is after setting a time, Kean Wright is after setting a 1:46. He's going to recharge now and make one more attempt. Camille is set at 1:43.9. He's going to need to improve in that if he wants to get into the top 5. I went to Kingsday in Amsterdam. I don't know what that is, but if you're creeping on me, go away. I have been to Amsterdam before, Lex, yes. As we see Zuchal leaving the pits. Bit of chaos happening in F4, it looks like, but that's a normal occurrence there. As Callum is out now for his final lap attempt, he's going to have to be a bit racy to get to the line in time. Oh, I haven't. I went for Kingsday in Amsterdam, no, unfortunately. I was going to go to Amsterdam dance event actually a few years ago, but back when it used to be free. I don't know if it's still free now, but we could not get tickets. Difficult event to get to. As Callum now drifting along here through Sector 2. Down the hill he goes, just turn 6 or 7. Yeah, turn 8. Into No Name Corner, which is also turn 9. And David's done. That's his qualifying finish. He's going to set a 1:42.8. That's going to be his best time. The top 3 ahead of him all out on the track. And John Ahern was not using battery for some reason there. Up Eau Rouge and Radion. Now down the Kemmel Straight. What do you mean I'm a dancer? I'm not a dancer, Lex. Go away. As he is now racing down. Is he going to, what's his practice one time going to be like? It's going to be invalidated. That's what it's going to be. I don't know what that was. That was a strange one there. Anyway, so it's going to be between Ronaldinho and Callum for pole after some questionable corner cutting by Mr. John Ahern. Yes, only a dentist. And Camille going through Sector 1 now. What time is he going to set here? Is it going to be purple? It is indeed. He's up by a 10th on his time, and that is qualifying done and dusted. Callum now going up Eau Rouge as well, with a few drivers behind him. Where is Yeast? Yeast is not improving. Okay. And what's Callum not improving? Matthew Heaney's retired from the session. Checking back in with Ronaldinho, still only a 10th up in his time. Andrei Feschenko's qualifying is done. Yeast's qualifying is halfway done. Mark Anderson going into Sector 2 now, down to turn 8. What can he do? As we'll just ride back on board with Ronaldinho here as he's going and he's setting a purple Sector 2, marginally improved by 16 thousandths of a second. Now down the back straight here into Blanchimont he goes. Full sending that car at 305 kilometers per hour. All the way down to the bus stop chicane. It kind of drifts there initially as we see a Ferrari going to the pits. That's Yeast. And what's it going to be for Ronaldinho? Is it any quicker? It is by quite some time. Now, what can Callum Morris do here? Is John Ahern is P2 at the moment? I think Callum's invalidated. He has. He has indeed. Charlie Roberts getting into P4. Mason's left the session yet again. Andrei Feschenko's time is done. Who's next then? Mark Anderson, who's improving by about 3 tenths. That's somewhere in the line of P6. Doesn't improve actually. Okay, so the timings are wrong. And that is qualifying done and dusted. Ronaldinho domination cannot be understated. Over half a second on the field. Interesting stuff. And that is qualifying done and dusted. As Ronaldinho P1 and John Ahern in P2. That's your front row. Then Callum and Charlie will be in the second row. David and Andre. David, you cannot talk about not being in F5 or F4. You're in P5 here. Andre in 5 and 6. Then Mateus and Yeast in 7 and 8. Zuchal and Matthew round out the rest of the top 10. 22 laps of racing coming up in just a second. And apparently Zucha said it's going to rain, but I don't see a cloud in the sky. Well, I see a few clouds, but nothing too bad. As we're about to get underway at F3, round 9 is away, and let's see who gets the better start. And it looks like Ronaldinho gets away pretty clean there. John Ahern has got away clean as well, as Callum's dropping places further back, and he's getting squeezed into turn 1 there. No one seems to have died. There's a kick ghosted, but that's all that's the only chaos so far, as we see loads of drivers swapping places, as Kean right up to P13, Matej down to P14, Brzezinski already up 4 places up to P16. Everyone looking to get away relatively safe. Nice, unchaotic start here. F5 was quite a boring race. Let's hope F3 is not the same. Axel Foley and Darrell Ann fighting further down the field as they go up the top of the hill. And Callum's lost his front wing. Looks like he was kind of bonked off the track there by somebody. And side by side into turn 8, we see the Haas and the Ferrari, I think it is. As the two Romanian torpedoes are in P13 and P14, they'll be ones to watch later on in this race. Where is Zuchal? He's in P9. Mark Anderson in P12. Camel in P11. Right, further up the field, Yeast is in P8 and Fat Ronaldo in P7. Andrei Peshchenko, after giving a big tow in qualifying, maybe sacrificed his own qualifying, in P6. David Ann in P5 at the moment. One of the sandbag bros along with Mark. This is going to be your name for the rest of your life. Darrell might be your brother by blood, but Mark is your brother by sand. Right, Callum now closely following Charlie. Charlie's been a quiet one now he has this season. Charlie Gordon, as Ronaldinho naturally setting the fastest lap of the race as the first drive across the line. Darrell and Axel Foley battling further down the field, and we'll see lots of overtakes now when DRS gets activated, and it's all about battery management as Max Jr. Brzezinski is battling Alex Theodore for P14. His teammate though, Callum Ogden, is into the pits already to change his wing. And speaking of Axe and Alex, there's been battling up Eau Rouge, and it's led to the usual chaos. DD chaos cannot be understated in Ero, as we see we're riding on board here with Zuchal, Bartholomew Zuchnik, Kurvamach, and he's going side by side with Matthew Heaney into turn 8, now up to the no-name corner. He's kind of holding this little pack up here. And further up the field, we may have missed this, as John Ahern is taking the lead of the race. And he's in P1, and Ronaldinho in P2 at the moment. His championship rival, though, Callum Morris in P4, after a disappointing start for him. Let's have a look. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's a VSC. As Darrell's lost a wing, Callum is, I don't know where he's doing. Axel Foley's got a 3-second time penalty for speeding under VSC conditions. Well, we got for track limits, but how could you get on a VSC? Anyway, does anybody come in at this point? I don't think so. I think it's a bit too early. Biggest benefactor so far is Matei. He's up to 4 positions. Callum Ogden's down 7. The top 4 all switching 1 position either way. As we're already back at racing and DRS is enabled. Real life sprint qualifying is going to be starting soon. And Matthew Heaney battling with quite a few drivers, actually. As I have the wrong thing up, I should be looking at everyone's tyres. So, majority of the field on the mediums. You've just got 4 on the softs, which is Camel, Kian, Alex, and Max. But I think Max had that unfortunate incident with Alex up Eau Rouge. John Ahern is leading by nearly a second now. So late into the season, he's throwing a spatter into the works. And Matei now, the second driver of the day to get a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Am I buying F1? Sorry, Charlie Gordon. Sorry. Am I buying F1 25? Yes, I am, Lex. I am indeed. My apologies, mate. My apologies. There's a lot of Charlies in the Ero now. I'm trying to keep track of everybody. I'm trying to do 20 things at the moment. As everyone just kind of begins to settle down to their positions as we're into lap 4, halfway through lap 4 of 22, and John Ahern is still leading the way, charging that battery up in sector 2 to try and fend off the wolves behind when they will have DRS in about 30 seconds or so time. Ronaldinho, after that strong start or strong qualifying, currently in P3, riding behind the undefined Charlie at this point. As Darrell Allen has actually quit the session due to Axel Foley terrorism. And here we see Ronaldinho here into turn 1, into La Source. He's not going to make a move. That's the yellow flag in sector 2, and that's Callum. What is Callum doing here? He does this from time to time. He'll win a race, but then also in the next race weekend, he'll just randomly bin the car into Puhan. I don't know. Anyway, I'm watching him. Callum, I am watching you if you start doing some stupid shit, okay? Yes, there is a prize pool. as there's absolute chaos in F4. As Callum has gotten a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I think that's his race done and dusted. Yes, it is. Now, John Ahern still leading the way by just over half a second as they go down to the back straight on the run into Blanchimont. Where in every other series of racing, you can't really take this corner flat out like you can here. Just due to the amount of downforce. As Matei gets another 3-second time penalty. Charlie Gordon, Roberts, Charlie, Matei getting a 10-second time penalty as Matei's gone as well. Oh, that's just Callum's car. I was like, what the hell is that? And we're seeing a Red Bull of Axel Foley going into the pits as well. Now, Ronaldinho getting very close to the back of Charlie's car here. But not close enough to make a move. David's sitting behind in P5 at the moment. He's having a good start in F3, even if he is a sound-bragging person. Andrei Feschenko currently riding in P6, not doing a lot, and Suchol is just 4 seconds off the back of this pack here. So P1 to P6, all relatively close to one another. Matthew Heaney is closing in on the Polishman, our host in F5. Mark Anderson riding in P9. These guys had it too good in F5 as Kean Wright is the next driver to get a time penalty for track limits. And now being held up a bit here. Interestingly enough, the McLarens are not as dominant in F3 as they are in F5, but the Williams seem to be the ones to be leading the constructors, as there's quite a few teams here that could actually be challenging for it come season's end. As Callum has a bit of a wobble there at the exit of the bus stop chicane. That's really going to compromise him to David behind, and he needs to get a move on if he wants to stay within DRS, which he should be okay. As John Ahern is starting to struggle, I think, a bit on those mediums. As the pack is really closing up on him. And he's going to be vulnerable here to the undefined Charlie and Ronaldinho behind him. Ronaldinho has already pulled out. Looking to get a double overtake done here. And here he comes, but he's not going to get both of them. He's going to get one of them. They might go 3 wide into... Oh, never mind. At the top of the hill there. And Charlie Roberts, Gordon, whoever you are. At this point, I'm just trolling. Up to P1. The prize is Lex. We're going to be raffling a copy of F1 25 away between the 5 winners and a few other people in the positions. So it's going to be based off raffle tickets. So we haven't given the defined amount just yet because that's why we haven't announced anything. But if you win, say, an F5, or if you win your tier, you'll get 15 tickets. And the person who comes in second will get like 7 or 6 tickets. And the person who comes in third will get 2. No, we'll get 3 tickets. And then everyone who's raced over a certain amount of races will get 1 ticket. And basically what we'll do is we'll just get everyone together in the server and just raffle away a copy or 2 of the game. Basically, the people who win, because we can't give setups away, we can't do anything like that. There isn't really anything in that really regard to give away. Simulators haven't really gotten back to us about an affiliation because they're kind of shrinking at the moment as a company. I don't really know what's happening with them. So that's where we are. Yeah, well, you know, it's coming out of our own pocket. This is the thing, like running Ero is expensive in some regards, you know. There is about like 30, 40 quid a month worth of overheads, hence why we ask for donations and stuff. That's just to keep the server running. Not to mention our own time, which we put into it. Obviously some people put a lot more time into it than other people, but meanwhile, back to the racing, Ronaldinho is going to be charging here for P1, and he gets it done down the Kemmel Straight. And Mr. Charlie Gordon back into P2. Callum, though, into P3 as John O'Hearn's dropped all the way down to P6. Zuchol with a 3-second time penalty. Matthew Heaney, who's had some really good like half races, as Yeast gets a 3-second time penalty. And he's just not been able to like follow through with it. I think it was Singapore he could have won a race. Speaking of Matthew, we just ride on board with him here. As Ronaldinho into the pits, Charlie Gordon into the pits, and Callum into the pits. So the medium runners getting rid of their tyres nice and early. Alex is gone, and that's going to bring out the safety car. So everyone who's just pit here is gonna, I think, is gonna get away with one. Apologies for the lack of talking right now. I'm trying to solve an issue in F4. And we see the rest of the grid all pitting here. The top 7, they're all probably going to be overtaken by... Yeah, they're all going to be taken by everybody. And normal order is restored. Hold on, we're seeing racing coming out of the pits here under safety car conditions. David Ann is actually leading the race and on fresh hearts. How did that happen? They have indeed caught up with the safety car, and well, it looks like Callum hasn't really benefited from that at all. He's dropped a lot of positions. However, where is... Okay, Charlie's there. As Callum has rejoined the lobby somehow, but like, if if Alex has left the lobby, I'm really not going to be happy with him. As we're approaching half race distance, as Max and Camel swapping positions, it looks like, or something. I don't know what's happened there. And Axel Foley just needs to catch up. I think he's lapped. They are going to go around again. Callum has made a report, apparently, as the safety car is in this lap and we will get underway. Who's he reporting? He's reporting Mark Anderson. As we are away under racing, not yet, not yet. And David will pick his time or spot when to go, and I think he's just about gone. He has indeed, and he's caught Ronaldinho. No, he hasn't. Ronaldinho is catching already. Everyone looks to be getting away quite safe. There's a lot of cars behind. They're going through the bus stop quite each other. Brzezinski and Keane fighting side by side into turn one, and Keane right makes a light lunge out. Oh, as Max almost gets spun by Fat Ronaldo. And we are well on 30, back on the way. Half race distance overdone here. And here comes Camel on David. Mr. Ann side by side here. Up the top of the hill, and Deleuze come. All okay there. Andrei Feschenko, though, in P3, riding the wave. He was in P6 at one point. As Keane's the next driver to get a time penalty. John O'Hearn now with a 3-second time penalty, as the majority of the field has it. DRS is enabled now, and David's going to have his hands full here, fighting off the three drivers behind him, and you can just see Charlie Roberts there, really, really close. Gordon Roberts, well, I'm confusing myself here now. Gordon, sorry. He's very, very close to the back of Andre's car there, as Camel and Keane fighting further down the grid. And Ronaldinho looking to get the move here. Camel Plizhikinski into turn 4, whatever this is, 5. I forgot the numbers. He takes the lead. David Allen down to P2. Callum Morris still in P5. He gets a 3-second time penalty. That's really going to derail his charge. Fat Ronaldo with another time penalty. So Callum is going to be vulnerable here. He's going to need to sort things out if he wants to get some decent points here. At the moment, he's looking at a P5 at best. For now, even Mark Anderson could potentially be looking at P5 with everyone having a penalty in front of him. David Allen in his debut in F3, staying nicely with the pack though. The established top of the pyramid in this tier. And here we go into the bus stop. As we see, it's a bit of a cut there by Andrzej Zuchov with a 3-second time penalty. Brzezinski now at the fastest lap of the race, and David taking the lead into turn 1, an unorthodox spot to do it because you're just going to be very vulnerable now down this quarter-mile stretch. And just like that, Ronaldinho overtakes David, and David's going to be a risk here for another driver to overtake him. Yes, indeed, as Andre gets past him and just pulled into his rear, as David making very, very slight contact with the back of the Williams. Bit of a dangerous move there. And David now going into Puhan, making a move on Andre here. And he gets a 3-second time penalty for his struggles. And further down the field, Brzezinski fighting as David Allen's back up to P1. What the hell? Ronaldinho now. He's going to have a big helping at DRS. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that looks to be Axel Foley who's come off. As there's a VSC deployed. As Axel is... I have no idea what he's doing. Anyway, that's going to be a temporary halt to the proceedings. And this doesn't really benefit anybody all that much. It probably helps Brzezinski the most because his mediums will probably start to die pretty soon compared to the hards. But at the moment, Max is looking at like a P6 finish, P5 finish with the penalties ahead of him. Yeah, P6. The whole top 10 not separated by a whole lot, whereas we're going to get into racing momentarily. DRS is enabled. Yeah, less than 3 seconds separating the top 7 here. There has been a safety car, and it's important to note, but still. Axel with a 10-second time penalty for cutter corning. Cutter corning? Corner cutting. And there's another yellow flag, and I think that's Axel yet again. He's having a bit of a mare here. However, Matthew Heaney with a 3-second time penalty again. It's going to drop him a lot of positions later on in this race. And here comes Ronaldinho with the aiding of DRS. Easy peasy lemon squeedy. And here comes Mr. Charlie Gordon. He's not going to get him moved on, but look what's behind them, the two Williams, as Callum Morris getting past his teammate, and he's back up to P4. Now, Charlie on... What is Axel doing? He's trying to get into the pits, I think, to retire, but just completely misjudged it. He's going to get DSQ'd in a second. Anyway, moving on to actually relevant racing here, as Cian Wright's had a bit of a wobble there down the bottom of the hill at turn 8, as Axel has indeed retired from the session. Now, can Charlie keep with the guys ahead of him? He's guaranteed a decent finish here if he just avoids any penalties, basically. Only 5 drivers left without a penalty. 6 drivers, sorry, with Camel as well. Camel, who he had bright hopes for this season. David back up to P1, and these guys just keep swapping the position over and over and over. But as it stands, David's going to be on for P3 finish, as he has a bit of a wobble up Eau Rouge, and that's just going to help Ronaldinho just sail past him, as Charlie's just kind of dropped a bit off the pace here. He has DRS. It's Matthew Heaney now up to P4 on the track. Mark Anderson in P5. As Matthew with an interesting interpretation of track limits there. Further down the field, Brzezinski still on the charge, and the 3 drivers with penalties ahead of him, he'll actually be ahead of them, so he'd be looking at least P5. And knowing Max, he's probably going to pull out another miracle win here at the end. As there's another yellow flag, as John O'Hearn has had a moment down the hill into turn 9. And Cian Wright's just going to drive straight through him. John had a great start to this race, and it's just all gone downhill since then. Great qualifying too. David staying closely with the back of Camille. And Camille almost lets him overtake him, to be honest. I think there's a bit of gamesmanship here going on. As Charlie's also going to have DRS. So the actual battle for the win as it stands is between Camille and Charlie. Callum's all the way down to P7 at the moment. It's disastrous for his title aspirations. Big dent in it here, and that's going to let Ronaldinho here, if he could just pull away a bit more, guarantee the P1. Title fight's going to be really, really interesting going into the last 3 races of the season. And Ronaldinho has overtaken David yet again at the top of the hill. Zuchol and Yeast are fighting further down the field, with Fat Ronaldo in the middle of their sandwich. Camel as well. So quite a few drivers closely here. Well, Zucho was flying east. I don't know what's happened actually. As Mark Anderson now with a 3-second time penalty. That's good news for for Brzezinski. That puts him up another place essentially. Max only 3 seconds away from the leader. And he's gonna rocket up 4 positions here. Up to P4. He can almost get a podium if Charlie gets a penalty as well. Andrei Verstejko is also technically on a podium position as things stand. But here comes David Ann again through Blanchimont. He's just got a low downforce setup compared to Camel. It's the only way he can be gaining this much here. Mr. Ann rapidly here, keeping pace with Camo. If he didn't have that penalty, he'd be on for the win, or he'd be challenging for it here. And this is kind of stupid now from Camel to get involved with this. He doesn't want to lose any time to the drivers behind, because now if Charlie got a better exit from him there, he would have been challenging up the hill. You can guarantee yourself that. And the double slipstream is going to play a big part here. And the fact that David's slower up the hill than Camel. Now Charlie is going to have a chance here to overtake Camo. Not using any battery though, and he probably would have got the move done. As Andre has just kind of shoved Max off the track there. He's just got 4 laps to go here. And Max getting a bit impatient now. Essentially guaranteed a podium if he can just kind of keep it on the track and not do any terrorism. Well, actually, no, it's Andre's also going to have penalties. As another yellow flag in Sector 1, as Kean Wright has come off yet again. And a very late safety car here. What do you do if you're the leaders? Now, this is an interesting one. I'm assuming nobody pits. I think it would be absolute suicide at this point to pit when the top 10 are essentially, well, the top 8 are separated by less than 5 seconds. So a late safety car here. Some questionable moves by somebody. We'll find out after the race what exactly that happened there. Sprint shootout is about to start in 1 hour. And the bottom 4 pit, but nobody else does. Interesting. And the safety car will probably be in this lap as well, as John is serving his penalty, and they're going to have to be racing to catch up with the pack. I'm assuming Zuchal and Charlie is elected to pit, and that's interesting. That's really interesting now. Now he's gambling. I'm not sure why he's actually pit from the position he was in. He was essentially guaranteed a P2, right? So and I'm assuming the safety car is going to be in this lap, which has been it's been a bit more of an interesting race than F5, or at least from this perspective. But this is going to be the man to watch. He's going to be the one who's really going to have the difficult task here. He's going to get through the field. Everyone on old tyres though, so it is definitely doable. Ronaldinho will get us underway for these final 2 laps of racing, where the soft runners will be hoping to do some serious damage. Keane Wright pushing to catch up with the pack. And Ronaldinho is away on racing. It's a bit of a wobble there, but oh, what's going on here? Matthew Heaney going very wide there in the restart, way off the track. And here we go. And as it stands at the moment, Brzezinski's on for a podium. Andrei Feschenko's on for a podium. Ronaldinho's on for a cruising win here. He just has to keep it on the track, really. No one can actually challenge him. No one DRS this lap either. What's happening further down the field? There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That's Keane Wright who's gone off the track yet again. Callum Morris is challenging Mark Anderson for P4 on track. But it literally looks like 6, 7, 8 and 9 will swap with 2, 3, 4 and 5. Charlie and Camo fighting. Into turn 9, there goes another yellow flag as Keane's come off again. Okay. We see some side-by-side action to Puhan here as Brzezinski now up to P6/P2. He's not going to be able to challenge for the win here, but he definitely will be challenging for P2. And it's all coming down to this here as we're about to enter into the last lap of this race momentarily. This race has just absolutely flown by, to be honest. And this is it, last chance saloon here for everybody. As Charlie now and Andre fighting, Brzezinski and Mark fighting. As DRS is enabled. The majority of the grid very close. Like less than 5 seconds separates the whole field, which is great to see. Mateus and John fighting as Andre and Mark deciding to make their own track limits into Las Oras. Here we go. David is closing in on Camo, but I don't think Camo really cares. And just like that, David is in P1, but with that penalty. Charlie Gordon now, it's gone all wrong for him as he, in hindsight, should he have gambled on the softs as Mark is gone as well. Well, a lot of penalties here. It's going to be interesting to see how the grid shapes up at the end of this race. Matthew Heaney actually finishing a race as well. That's interesting. So it's looking like a Camel and then Brzezinski 1-2. And now Andrei Feschenko's had a moment at the end of Sector 2. Wow, so the driver's really starting to lose it here, and there's a bit of clouds forming, but the rain never came. Sujal lied. He's won. Well, did he win an F5 this evening? One of them won an F5, but it'll be another sandbagger to cross the line first. Ronald, what has just happened there? Oh, there's something naughty is after happening there. And David Adams won the race? Well, Well, that was a bit stupid by Max. Now I'm going to be honest. So apparently David Ann somehow won this race. Ronaldinho's finished in P2. Callum Morris has somehow finished in P3. Brzezinski in P4 after what looked like an act of terrorism, but we'll have to see the steward findings. Matthew Heaney in P5, Camel in P6, Charlie in P7, Yeast in P... John in P8, Yeast in P9, Andre in P10, Mateus in P11, Zuchol, the last of the finishers and the point setters. F2 is tomorrow evening along with F1. If we don't see you, have a lovely long weekend. Enjoy the good weather while it's here to stay, and good night.